So the Jubilee Museum here in downtown Columbus is the largest collection of diversified Catholic art in the United States. And actually, when Cardinal Marcassano was here several years ago, he actually bestowed that title upon us. And the Jubilee Museum actually started in 1998. It was founded by Father Kevin Lutz. And the museum is housed in the old Holy Family High School. In 1998, Father Lutz was the pastor at Holy Family Church. And the old high school was the corresponding school for Holy Family that was opened in 1912. This building dates back that far. And Bishop Griffin at the time, who was the bishop of the Diocese of Columbus, asked all the priests in preparation of the year 2000, the Jubilee year, I want you to do something special in your parish. Whether it be a trip or fixing something up, just different ideas, and do something with your parish and your parishioners. So Father Lutz decided, the old high school building upstairs is just being used for storage. The soup kitchen was already operating downstairs, and it still operates to this day. And he said, let's clean up the high school, let's paint the walls, let's resurface the old wood floors. And I have some old artwork and some statues and things that I've collected, during my priesthood and even before that. And let's take one room and make a little museum to kind of have some fun with it. So he did. In 1998, several rooms in this building became little museum rooms. They repainted, put carpeting in the hallways, resurfaced the floors, and people started coming. There was Catholic Time articles and people, just word of mouth. So people started coming to the museum, and the collection grew and grew and grew. People had things in their basements that they saved from churches. Collectors found out about us, started giving us things, and the next thing you know, we're the largest Catholic museum in the country. So it's grown significantly, and what I mentioned earlier about the diversified collection. We don't have the largest collection of papal artifacts, or nativity scenes, or statues, but as a diversified collection as a whole, you're the largest. So when you come here, you get a wide variety of artifacts to experience, from nativity scenes to the convent room, the sisters' habits, the things that the sisters were involved with, a music room, how the music is involved in the church, Gregorian chant. We do have operating pipe organs in the building. We do have a collection as well from the Holy Land. One of our big pieces in that collection is an amethyst stone that belonged to Mary Queen of Scots. We have papal artifacts here. We even have Jewish things here in the building as well. So people from all denominations of religions come here. Actually, most of our visitors to this museum are not Catholic. About 68% are Protestants, which is wonderful. It's Christian art, but again, this is a huge way for us to evangelize through these beautiful stained glass windows and statues and artifacts. Yeah, so right now we are open 7 days a week during the Christmas holiday and Advent season. So all the way through, I think, January 6th is Epiphany this year. So we'll be open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 4 and Sundays from 1 to 4. Admission is $10 for adults, $5 for students and senior citizens, and we always take donations on top of that. Another thing too is we do have a gift shop here. If you're looking for something for Christmas for somebody, we get a lot of donations in here that are things that people just don't want anymore. And they're not really museum pieces, little statuaries, things that belong in homes, sick call sets, wall crosses. So we have an entire gift shop dedicated to these things that we've saved or people have donated. And our goal is to get them a little donation and get them back out in their houses, to homes and houses across the area. I promise you our prices are a little cheaper here, but a lot of the items are blessed, so we cannot put a price tag on that. So just make a donation and take it home with you. Yeah, so we have a fantastic Christmas display here that we actually start setting up the first week of November. And this year we're actually featuring St. Nicholas. We have a display on our stage that talks about St. Nicholas, who was a 4th century bishop. And we have our big display is called Who Was the Real Santa Claus? So come here this year during the Christmas season and Advent and really learn about who St. Nicholas was and how he changed over time and how we got to the current Santa Claus, which didn't come to America until the 1880s, actually, as we know Santa Claus today. But on top of that, we have our yearly nativity display. It's grown to almost 400 nativity scenes from all over the world. The history of the nativity scene can be found on our Facebook page, but just a little quick synopsis. St. Francis of Assisi in 1223 set up the first nativity scene in his parish in Italy. He thought it was important for people to actually be able to see through statuary how Christ came into the world in the stable and how the ox and the ass stood by. And it's very interesting. I would encourage you to look up the story of St. Francis in the first nativity set. He actually based his homily around the nativity set that he set up for the first time in 1223, that Christmas. And it kind of caught on. Other churches in Italy started putting up nativity scenes, and then they started spreading into homes. And as you can see today, Catholics and Christians all over the world are setting up different styles of nativity scenes in their homes to represent, and also as well as their visitors coming in to help show them the representation of Christ and how he came into the world. So it's really neat. Some of the scenes you'll see here are 4 feet tall, like the one behind me. Some of the sets that we have are actually, the figurines are about the size of a grain of rice. So we have them from all over the world, from Alaska, from Africa, from Ethiopia, from China, from Mexico, from Peru. So very good time to come see the museum. Make the nativity scene your excuse if you've never been here. Come see the nativities and get an idea of how large this collection here is in downtown Columbus. Absolutely. So St. Nicholas, 4th century bishop, priest and then bishop. And actually some of the things that he did as a bishop, that there's a reason why we relate him to Santa Claus. He was a giver. He was very big into giving back. And there are rumors and stories of him going into town Christmas Eve and in December under the cover of darkness, and people would set their shoes out, and he would put little toys and fruits and vegetables and things in their shoes. There's also stories that women who were getting married in the church, he would actually leave dowries for to help set them up for life. So a lot of people don't get checks and cash for Christmas, but St. Nicholas was handing out this kind of thing. So, but we kind of taken that story. A lot of early depictions of St. Nicholas show him in his bishop's mitre, and he's got a small sleigh with a Christmas tree in it and a reindeer in front of it, which would have been an animal available to help pull, just like a horse would be, to pull a sleigh into town, where he had a sack of little toys and trinkets for the kids and for the families in town. So, of course, that's been altered a lot to flying reindeer and things, but the real Santa Claus was St. Nicholas, a bishop in the 4th century. So one of our big sets, and actually the room we're in right now in this interview, is actually our Nativity Scene collection that stays up all year round. And one of those reasons is because one of the sets that's in here is pretty popular to people. We have the largest collection of Fontanini in the United States, a brand that you may have in your own home, a nativity set. And this actually goes around our entire room. And it's actually more than just a nativity scene. It's Christ's entire life story in little figures. It starts from one end, from the Annunciation, through the nativity scene, through your favorite Bible stories, all the way to the resurrection on the other end. This set contains somewhere between 2,900 and 3,000 individual pieces. And it is believed to be the largest collection of Fontanini in the United States. And Father Carmen Arcuri, that name might ring a bell to some of you, he was an Italian priest in our diocese for many years and passed away last year. But he actually gifted this to us. Every time he did a wedding or a funeral, he took his stipend and bought another piece with that. So he would get his parishes involved that he was in over the years in setting this up in the lobbies and vestibules of the churches, the youth groups. And when he retired, he came to us and said, would you like to have it? And of course, absolutely. We went and got it the same day. And it's been on display ever since. So come by and see it. It's very detailed. You can buy Fontanini at Generations, the religious bookstore here in Columbus. And I think actually one of the Fontanini family is coming in another week or two to sign the pieces if you buy them. So it's really amazing what people have in their basements. It's amazing what walks in the door here. Most of our significant pieces that are in the museum, either more valuable or just really significant in history, were donated to us or given to us. The entire Holy Land collection, where the Mary Queen of Scots chalice is. We do have a ciborium from the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, which dates back to 1792. We have beautiful vestments in that room. If you've been here before, you remember that room by the vestments. Our oldest set being somewhere between 300 and 350 years old is in that room. So that entire collection in that room was given to us at one time by the Franciscans. We didn't pay $1 for it. We do have the land grant in the building from the first Catholic property in the state of Ohio. The Ditto family might ring a bell to many people down in Somerset and Perry County. But Jacob Ditto was an early settler here in Ohio in the early 1800s, and they were Catholic. This was at a time we didn't have priests like we do today. And so he kept writing the first bishop of the United States, John Carroll, please, there's Catholics in Ohio, send us a priest. We can pray the Bible all day, but we're missing the sacraments. Well, finally, in I believe 1811, Father Fenwick arrived there and gave the family a blessing, heard their confessions, and then said Mass that same day underneath of a tree on the property. We do have a piece of the tree upstairs in our collection from under which the first Mass was said. And we do have Jacob Ditto's personal Bible that he signed in 1808. Now what's really cool is we do have the land grant, as I mentioned. The Ditto family is still active here in Columbus and in Lancaster and in the diocese. And actually Michael Ditto is on our board of trustees here. And the family came to us several years ago, gave us these beautiful things, along with the land grant, which they had still had in their custody after all these years. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison's signature are on that land grant. So it's an amazing piece. And then again, this was a donation to the museum. So really significant history here in the building. So just amazing things. A lot of things we've also saved from churches that have been demolished. We get phone calls all the time, hey, this altar or this pipe organ's going down with the ship. And we get, a benefactor to help sponsor a truck, and we go pick up things. And then we don't want communion rails and altars in the museum. They're pretty, they look nice, but they need to be used for Mass. So we do whatever we can to get these pieces back out into churches for a really fair price, normally just what we have in the item, and then a donation on top of that. So if you know somebody has a church that needs something, let us know. So for the first, I'd say, this is our 20th anniversary this year, so for the first about 18 years in the museum, 17 years, this was just collecting whatever we could get. And we took everything, and it's amazing what things you take that you'll never use that again. It's amazing. Behind me, the stable, for instance, this is old church lumber. St. Mary's in German Village is being revitalized right now after a lightning strike and some wood rot. They had to cut a bunch of the rafters out. I said, we'll take them. So the wood behind me, most of it is actually old beams from St. Mary's in German Village dating back to the 1860s, 1870s. So we take everything, and it's amazing. We didn't know when we took that stuff what it was in before. But we do have a fantastic board of directors here, nonprofit organization, so we don't get any assistance from anywhere else to run this place other than through our benefactors and donations and admissions from tours that come through. When the museum first started, we would see, a couple people a month. This year we're going to see over 6,000 visitors. So it's growing like crazy. So again, I mentioned earlier about, we just used to take anything and everything. So a lot of the stuff that we have has damage. Statues come in missing arms, paintings come in, the frames are chipped or cracked, the paintings are dirty, they have rips in them. So as you come through, or have come through several times over the last 20 years, you'll notice these paintings on the walls. The museum is actually working towards a new situation. Can't tell a lot of details yet, but we have actually been consulting with a local restoration gentleman. He actually did the restoration work for the State House downtown, for the murals there. And we're actually getting quotes for every piece that's in this building to have them sent out and fully restored to their former glory. We have some very significant paintings and things in the building that are kind of overlooked when you come through on tours. We also have a lot on the walls. When you come through, it's very overwhelming. That's not really our intention, is to have that many things on the walls. It's just we don't have proper places to store these things yet. So it's a lot safer just putting everything up. So in our new situation in the future, if we can build a new building, it should be wonderful. We'll actually have proper storage, and everything during a construction process would be sent out for restoration. We also, when we open up our new building in the future, we'd like to have restoration situation here. We'll actually have a room which is dedicated to painting restoration, statue restoration, organ restoration for pipe organs. So when you come to visit here, you can actually watch these processes happen. It's really, I think, a huge teaching tool, and even another way to evangelize by seeing these old, dirty paintings of the saints, preserved and brought back to their former glory. So one issue with the building we're in currently is proper humidification and temperature control. And we're out of space. So the new building we will have galleries with traveling exhibitions. So we do have Dr. Reichman's artwork here, will be on display during Christmas. And he's actually another board member here as well. So bringing different style art, and of course his art is actually showing Santa Claus and the Christmas display. So beautiful, beautiful artwork. He'll be featured here. Check out our Facebook page during Christmas. But our intentions in a few years when we get a new building, we'll have the Vatican traveling displays through here. And different art. We're members with SIVA, Christians in the Visual Arts. They have beautiful traveling displays, which we've had in and out in the past. So we're looking forward to just having our permanent collection and then gallery spaces that change up constantly. So absolutely. I do want to say, first of all, we are not handicap accessible at this point. We will be in the future, but keep that in mind when you come. If you don't mind us picking your wheelchair up, we'll get you in the building one way or another. We want you to see what we're doing here. But again, we are open Monday through Saturday during the holiday season from 10 to 4 and Sundays from 1 to 4. You can check us out on Facebook. We do a lot of updating on Facebook. Most of you who are watching this video are on Facebook, so like our page and share things back and forth. Our website's jubileemuseum.org, and our phone number is 614-600-0054. During the Christmas season, we are offering guided tours at 1 o'clock every day. But when we're not in the Christmas season, we'll offer a guided tour during any time during our open hours. And I encourage your RCA classes, your CCD classes, your youth groups, Catholic schools, come see the museum and let us know before you come what you're studying, what you want to focus on, because we can really talk about the history, but then we can show you the history here as well.